cause I'm on one. Swinging for the fences for the home run. Even further beyond into the universe. But I've got to make it to first.
Don't forget to like, click, and subscribe, family.
Shalom, shalom, fam. This is Or Ebri with the Living Word Initiative, author, investor, and consultant. And I'm here today with my co-host, Lonnie. We're here. We were just watching the EYL. For you all who don't know, EYL is the Earn Your Leisure. It's a podcast, YouTube channel, whole movement about basically our culture, our generation, just changing how we look at wealth, investing, and growing and building wealth. They had on there Derek Grace too as a co-host, as a guest, and they were just going through some things. One of the biggest things that I took from it is the information in which we pour into our children. One of the examples that was given on the video is like us, we have to run a marathon before we start the race. So, for instance, it may take us 30, 40 years to build $1 million, where you have other people where they already have a trust fund with $1 million in it. So it's like, all right, we got to go run an entire marathon before we start the race. There's pros and cons to that. However, the biggest thing that we can do is give it to our children at a young age. So I know with Derek, his children are young. They're extremely young. I know they're below the age of 13, I want to say that. And he's always consistently pouring into his children, and they're able to give that knowledge. So I had my co-host here, we're sitting there, co-host, she's learning, and she may be 8 weeks old, but here's the great thing, and I teach all about this all the time. Default mode network, reticular activating system. All of those things are already right here inside of her. So she may not be able to comprehend what it is that she's learning now. She's only 8 weeks old. However, what I'm doing is I'm planting all the seeds that she needs. So that way, when she gets to the age of comprehension, the knowledge is already in her head. So she's not going to have to, it's going to be some literally, she's going to be like, how did I know that? That's because it was already put in her mind. We have to do that with our children. We think, oh, our children are too young, or oh, our children need to be learning child stuff. No, that's what sets them back. How many times have you gone into a grocery store, a corner store, a liquor store, some type of store in one of our neighborhoods, or a restaurant in one of our neighborhoods, and the children are either taking the order, they're processing your order, they're helping you find product, they're doing all of these things. That's because they're already being taught this. So when they become 25, 30 years old, it's second nature to them. They already have the knowledge. They've been getting exposed to it already. So we have to start exposing our children to these things. We have to remember Warren Buffett started investing. Warren Buffett started investing at the age of 9. His father had him reading the stock pages in the newspaper at the age of 9. He was 9, 10, 11 years old. So while most of our 9, 10, 11-year-olds are watching, I don't know, Baby Shark, Cabbage Patch, I don't know, whatever cartoon, like other races and other groups and nationalities of people have their children learning actual knowledge. We have to do the same thing. Now, yes, there's a time for a child to have fun, and there's a time for a child to, be a child. But at the same time, we have to realize this ain't time for fun and games. Like, this is preparation for adulthood. Back in the day, our ancestors, the 8, 9, 10-year-old girls, they were in the kitchen learning how to cook. Why? Because eventually they would have to have a husband that they had to cook for, children they had to cook for. They didn't just sit around, whatever, and their mama did everything. No, they had to be in there helping or learning how to do it, because eventually they would be in that same role. We have to do that for our children. Quit hiding the knowledge from our children, thinking they aren't prepared for it, or they aren't mature enough. Your children are wherever you put them at. Why do you think you have certain children, they already graduate from college and they're not even 13 years old, or they're 13, 14, and they've already completed a 4-year degree? Because a child will absorb any information that you put in front of them. That's why some children can learn 3, 4, 5 languages. That's why some children are intelligent, because children will absorb whatever you put in them. So if you put in front of them junk, that's what they're going to absorb. And then that's when they're going to regurgitate. That's what they're going to regurgitate. But if you put in front of them knowledge and wisdom, that's what they're going to absorb, and that's what they're going to regurgitate. So you have to consistently put in the things that which are going to make our children successful in the future. Teaching them these things at a young age. Like I said, my daughter is 8 weeks old. Say hey to the camera, baby. This baby is 8 weeks old, and we're watching the Earn Your Leisure video. Now, yes, we do our ABCs. You know, she's 8 weeks old, and I'm already teaching her, hey, self-defense, so she knows how to, defend herself. And she may not have it fluid. I may have to help her throw her punches. But guess what? When she's 8 years old, it's going to come second nature to her. It's going to be natural. The things you put into your children now will be natural for them when they get older. So if you put crap into them now, crap is going to be natural. You ever notice why some people, they just naturally just always effing up, or naturally just dysfunctional? That's because that is what they were exposed to. And they never learn how to rewrite the program. Then you have some people who just naturally are gifted and naturally get it. That's what they were exposed to. So, yeah, she just fell asleep. She always falling asleep on camera. But put into your child the things that are going to be useful for them when they get older. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. So with that, I want to say peace and shalom. And always be the highest version of your most authentic self.